Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. David Schwartz, the Ripple's $1 trillion man. Big XRP mistake. We're going to get into it. And who is Jed McCaleb? Why is he so untouchable? We got Brad Garlinghouse and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today. It is $1.055 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency today. Good afternoon. It's July 18th, 2022. The market is up 4.1% right now. Bitcoin well over 22,000 right now, and we see Ethereum 1,400 plus making 26+% move on the 7-day. XRP is 36 cents, making 11.8% move on the 7-day. Look at the range of price very quickly right here. It is 4% for the 24-hour move for XRP. Like I said, 11 plus, 11.8% on the 7-day, ranging between 34 cents on the bottom, 37 on the top. We'll keep an eye on it. We are moving up. Let's see if it continues. Right now, I want to tell you about Link2. By the way, Link2's got plenty of cash. They're cash flush. And you know what they're doing with it? Let me tell you what they're doing with it. They're buying Ripple, and they're offering it to you at a discount price, $44 right there. I'm telling you, this is a real opportunity as far as I'm concerned. I'm telling you, it doesn't last long. Don't fool around. Link underneath the description. And even if you are with Link2 and have been accredited by them already, click that link underneath the video to make sure you get those prices and deals. Let's get moving right here. It is ProCoin News. You're going to hear from them in a second. I've been saying since they have hit on the scene, you better follow them. I'm proud to have them as a sponsor, but they show up every day with the news and they give it to you straight. And they're now running a new vote where you can vote on many different categories on different things like who's your favorite YouTuber, who's your favorite crypto lawyer, and many other categories. Make sure you click that and fill it out. Whoever wins will be receiving a real trophy for these awards. So make sure you check it out. These are the gas fees currently going on, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great way to level set as we move through the news today. Ethereum, $20 on the high side if you want to do a transaction there. XRP down here, 0.0000828. XLM, 0.0000110. This algo, 0.00040. This is what we're talking about. And I believe with this kind of efficiency, low cost for use, I believe as the real money starts to show up in this space, and believe me, $1 trillion is nothing to scoff at, but it's nothing compared to the 15, 25, 50, $100 trillion that will be pouring into this space over the next several years. Because make no mistake about it, the whole world is moving to new digital payment rails, and somebody's going to win. Who's it going to be? I can't say. I don't know. I know who I think it is, but I tell you this, only the ones with real use case will be the winners. That much we know for sure. Look right here. This is Jay Clayton, and I tell you what, Squawk Box, CNBC, integrity clearly on the line here as far as I'm concerned. Because whenever you have someone like Jay Clayton, who, by the way, not only should political officials, which this segment is on, like Speaker Pelosi's husband, not be able to invest in things that are coming across Congress and political elected officials' desks. Not only should that not be allowed to happen, elected officials and spouses should be made to use blind trust. The other thing that shouldn't be happening is Jay Clayton allowed to comment on this segment, knowing he appeared to cash in from his SEC gig to Apollo, knowing Apollo stood to gain and has gained an advantage from decisions he made in public office. Nothing has changed in the last decade since the Stock Act. There's a general sense that there's a need for more improvement here, says former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton on NVIDIA by Speaker Pelosi's husband, an outright ban on stock holdings or stock trading. That's not practical. Well, if it's not practical, then let's get these blind trusts happening. It's not very difficult to do. Looking right here, Brad Garlinghouse chimes in. Who else is going to be closely watching the House Financial Services Committee's oversight hearing this week, which is tomorrow? We will be covering it, as he also shares the SEC enforcement on this week on the SEC's enforcement division, and then shares the article from Rosalind Layton where she just absolutely laid it out exactly the way it is, and it's very much like Jimmy Life is showing here. Rosalind Layton, I covered this article over the weekend. If you haven't watched that video, the SEC slapdown is a wake-up call. You need to go watch it. I tell you, she knows exactly what's going on, and in fact, she's been covering this from day one. Rosalind, very grateful for your coverage and insights on what you report. I tell you here, we do need the help of the House Financial Services Committee. Say that 5 times fast. Level playing field for crypto. Please investigate SEC Gary Gensler, Jay Clayton, William Hinman. The USA should lead the fourth industrial revolution, and tag Patrick McHenry, Maxine Waters, Bill Huizenga, Ted Budd, just to name a few. Let's get these people's attention in the most professional way so we do get some action here and some clarity. Speaking of clarity, this is Ron Hammond here from the Blockchain Association, I believe. Is it blockchain, Ron? Yes, Blockchain Association. It's actually been great to watch my colleagues on both sides of the aisle really kind of educate themselves on these issues, said Himes. 5 years ago, if you had said cryptocurrency, there'd be 2 people in this building who would know what the hell you're talking about, he said. And this is from really Jesse Hamilton from CoinDesk showing the article here that stablecoin bills won't force all issuers to be banks, the congressman says. But here's the problem. Timing is the problem here, ladies and gentlemen. It appears the Dems want to have all the stablecoin issuers really become banks. The Republicans do not. It's that simple, right? The problem here is, can they get the vote done and the legislation just for stablecoins passed before the November elections? This is the question right here. And can they get it done in a bipartisan way where they have some allowance or a margin for non-bank institutions and private sector to participate as a stablecoin issuer. It's unclear exactly how the current House bill would allow for non-bank stablecoin issuers, and people familiar with the effort say negotiations remain underway among lawmakers. So the details are still being worked out. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is trying to encourage speed. Treasury officials have been working with Congress, but a department spokesman said he couldn't comment on the discussion. So we're hoping we can get a little light into that window tomorrow here. Both Toomey and McHenry suggested a stablecoin bill could be completed this year, and against the odds assertion that suggests some Republicans are willing to make deal to let a bipartisan bill through the evenly split Senate. A Biden administration also told CoinDesk last month that the legislation could be passed by the end of the year. So the question is can they get the votes? Can they get it done? And the other question is can they get it done without doing more harm than we currently have right now? Here's another thing to consider right here. We've talked about the possible poster child, USD Tether, becoming a poster child, I should say, for an example of why you don't just decide to go out on your own and as a private company publicly advertise and offer a digital US dollar without having the proper licensure, regulation, and things of that nature. I tend to think that there's going to be some kind of call to carpet moment for this. Whether it's a full-on collapse or not, I don't know. I can't guess. But I say to you this, if they do collapse Tether based on what we know the CTO said is that they do not have proper backing, essentially, in short. How hard the government and the regulatory agencies make an example of this is yet to be determined. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned of what it could do to the overall market temporarily. And then obviously if something like that were to take place, would they just force them to get licensed? Would they make an example and just absolutely collapse Tether and then push everything into USD coin? I don't know. We can't know how hard it'll go one way or the other. But here William Lawley says XRP showing an EMA cross to the upside. Buy signal, sure. But if the hammer falls on USD Tether, it's game over for a crypto day trader, he says. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. But right here, I want to touch on this for a second. Ripple and Stellar XLM co-founder Jed McCaleb only has 39.99 XRP left, so he's done selling. Well, you know what? That has been 8 years in the making, I believe it is now. 9 billion XRP sold, and I believe, and I've said this, I don't know about you, but I find it fascinating that Jed could sell 9 billion XRP, never be mentioned in the SEC versus Ripple case. It may be my speculation, but I feel the sales were obligated and can't help but wonder who bought all that XRP from Jed. The Fed? The Treasury? And who is Jed McCaleb? This is an incredible article. Guys, you should be following ProCoin News. If you're not, I really recommend following them. They are the Drudge Report of crypto. There is no question. If you go through this, we know that not long ago, we had just reported that Nerd Nation found a video here that really proved that Homeland Security has investigated and discovered exactly who Satoshi Nakamoto is. And it's 4 people. And they interviewed them, and it is no longer a mystery. It's still a mystery who all 4 are, but it isn't a mystery that they don't know who it is. Where is the public disclosures? Why are the SEC and the CFTC claiming that they don't know when we know for a fact the SEC was at this conference here? And why is nothing being done to tell the rest of the world this is who Satoshi Nakamoto is? I have long believed that, Bitcoin is the shiny distraction to keep retail off of gold, because I believe at some point in the future, we're going to see gold repriced. And then I believe the banks and governments will be like, hey, you want to own gold? Come on and own it again. I think this is a way of doing a repricing of gold without involving retail confiscation. That's just my personal speculation on the matter. This is the video I reported on where Jay Clayton is completely caught off guard by Andrew Sorkin when he asks if he knows who Satoshi is. Listen, look how nervous he is.
Do you have any idea who Satoshi Nakamoto actually is?
So when did you start?
By the way, do you think has the SEC ever tried to figure it out?
Not with any success.
Okay. No, I was actually really curious.
No.
Well, maybe you should pick up the phone, Jay, and call Homeland Security, because they had great success. I'm no body language expert, but I'm pretty sure this is one of the biggest lies I've ever seen. I tell you, it really is quite questionable, his demeanor and his body action there, or body language there. But look, who is the 4? Could it be David Schwartz, Arthur Brito, Jed McCaleb, and someone else? Hal Finney? I don't know, right? Who is the other person? Is it any of these people? Are we right? Are we wrong? I don't know. I have said this many times in a joking manner, but Jed McCaleb, gets away from Mt. Gox. You know what I mean? Jed McCaleb, even Liberty Reserve is brought up here. Known about that for a long time too. If you look at this, Jed McCaleb, I want to talk Jed McCaleb, Costa Rica, Japan, Mt. Gox, Liberty Reserve, and how this may all be connected. The man who seems to be in the middle of just about all of this is Jed McCaleb. Jed has been a notorious figure in the XRP community for several years due to his taco stand wallet, where he has been systematically selling the billions of XRP he received when he left the company. Many argue this has suppressed XRP price for years. Others said it had no impact. To me, the story is much deeper. Whether Jed's sales have hurt the XRP price is far less interesting and far less important than these questions. Why does Jed seem to be involved in just about everything in crypto dating back to the near beginning? Why does Jed always seem to exit right before things crash, which has always been my question? Even after the crash, why does Jed never face any legal liability or legal restrictions of any kind? For example, there's no dispute that Jed was one of the founding partners of Ripple Labs, and there's no dispute that Jed has been selling XRP for years, both before and during the SEC lawsuit. Why does the SEC sue Ripple Labs and Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse, but not Jed McCaleb? Certainly he's well known. He's an undisputed co-founder of Ripple Labs. Garlinghouse is not. He's continued to sell millions, if not billions, of XRP during the lawsuit, which the SEC claims is an unregistered security. Garlinghouse, to the best of my knowledge, has not. So why sue Garlinghouse and not McCaleb? That's the first of many questions that don't seem to make sense. Unless Jed is a made man, so to speak. Is he with an agency, a three-letter agency? We know David Schwartz is ex-NSA or possibly ex-CIA. So what is Jed McCaleb? Is he connected? He's another question. XLM is mostly a clone of XRP with a few minor changes. Why Ripple Labs sued, not McCaleb's current company, Stellar Labs? Why both be sued? Why wouldn't both be sued? Is it because they would be a little too close to comfort to McCaleb? We're just asking questions here, and we're only just scratching the surface. Let's keep going. Now let's talk Mt. Gox. Jed founded Mt. Gox, which we all knew had one of the most infamous hacks allegedly in all of Bitcoin, almost leading to the end of blockchain. Once again, Jed was right at the heart of the story, but escapes unscathed. Then we come down here. Let's come down here to this right here. This is the whole story on Mt. Gox, and then I want to bring you to this, where the World Money Show was in 2012, not long before Jed McCaleb left Ripple. Charlie Shrem, another big person in the early days of crypto and Bitcoin, is the host, who is founder of Bitcoin Foundation, along with Mark Karpalais, who was Jed's future partner at Mt. Gox. These things are all tied together, right? Then you come down here, and let's do this. Let's get in, because I want to keep this moving, and we don't want to get too long here. But let's go to right here. I want to get to Liberty Reserve. Here's where we want to get to. Then there's Liberty Reserve, right? So let's talk about that. So let's go back in time to something called Liberty Reserve. You ever heard of it? Most people haven't, but this is where the puzzle pieces will start to connect, and your mind may start to get blown a bit. Please keep your seatbelt fastened and your tray tables in the upright position. Liberty Reserve was a very early digital currency service and was based in, you guessed it, Costa Rica. Liberty Reserve was a Costa Rica-based centralized digital currency service that billed itself as the oldest, safest, and most popular payment processor, servicing millions around the world. The site had over 1 million users when it was shut down by the United States government. Prosecutors argued that due to a lax security, alleged criminal activity largely went undetected, which ultimately led to them seizing the service. And if you look at this, Costa Rica, you say, very early digital currency service, you say, but what does that have to do with Mt. Gox? The two were closely commingled. If you look here from Darknet Diaries, a wild story of what was going on behind the scenes. In January 11, 2011, there was 2 exploits related to Mt. Gox integration of Liberty Reserve's withdrawals. It says, Jack, Liberty Reserve was a company at Mt. Gox used to transfer money from one person to another. It's a service tied to their back end, which allowed money to be moved around. Jed made some mistakes when adding the service to his site. It says here, Kim, a user would just be able to inject XML to override parameters in the API request sent to the Liberty Reserve to get more money than they actually withdrew from Mt. Gox. So hackers were withdrawing more than they should be allowed to withdraw by exploiting this poorly implemented code. But that wasn't the only issue Jed had with Liberty Reserve. Users typed in how much money they wanted to withdraw, but the code forgot to check the negative inputs. This had screwy results, allowing users to withdraw money they didn't have. Jed found these bugs and fixed them, but it wasn't until he had already lost $50,000 around that time. Jed McCaleb, Mark Karpalais started talking. Jed was realizing the site was required more time than he could put into it. Then Mark showed an interest in taking over Mt. Gox from Jed. Mark was a web programmer from France, but had recently moved to Tokyo, Japan, where Mt. Gox was located. So that's how you get from Costa Rica to Mt. Gox. You know, All of these things, Liberty Reserve Incorporated in Costa Rica in 2006, worked by charging a small fee to help users send and receive payments anywhere in the world. The online payment processor, however, did not verify the accounts of its users, requiring only a valid email address, along with a name and birth date, which Liberty Reserve did not verify. This allegedly helped turn online service into a hub for illegal transactions relating to credit card theft, investment fraud, and computer hacking, among others. Liberty Reserve went offline, and the currency exchange's founder, Arthur Budvosky, has been arrested. Did you catch that last name? It may not have been jumped out at you, but read the next quote from Liberty Reserve Wikipedia and see if you notice anything strange. 2002 to 2006, United States businessman Arthur Budvosky and Vladimir Katz ran a digital currency exchange service known as the Gold Age 2006. The duo were indicted by whom on charges of operating an illegal financial business, a felony. They were sentenced to 5 years in prison in 2007, but the sentence was reduced to 5 years of probation. Budvosky fled the country, settling in Costa Rica. He subsequently became a naturalized citizen of Costa Rica when he married a Costa Rican woman in 2010 and renounced his American citizenship in 2012. Liberty Reserve was incorporated by Budvosky in Costa Rica 2006-2007 interview with Jewel Lee. It says here, the company's marketing manager claimed it was founded by a private currency exchange system for import-export businesses open to the public in 2007. Criminal investigation and charges go on and on and on. There's just so much here. There's been a lot of rumor that these names are attached to people that may have been at Ripple. I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer. But I tell you, what I find fascinating about all of this is how Jed McCaleb is able to skirt being involved in any of these things that have taken place, legally wise. I find it completely fascinating. You should read this article. The whole thing is remarkable. Great job to ProCoin News. Linda P. Jones here sharing Ripple's $1 trillion man from Forbes. It's David Schwartz. That's who we're talking about here. According to this article, David Schwartz chose Ripple stock instead of XRP. Why? Chris, Brad, Greg, Kidd got XRP, so it's not like something is wrong with it. Did he already have so much Bitcoin he wanted stock, not crypto? Well, it's not every day you get a response from David Schwartz, but we love it when we do. She says, thanks, David. And here is the response right here. He says, the jury's still out, but it probably turned out to be a pretty big mistake, he says. A number that was thrown around was 500 million XRP. And of course, XRP is nearly perfectly liquid. He goes on to say, but just to be clear, that wasn't really the choice that I was confronted with. It was more about taking XRP or a salary in the early days. And I needed the money then. Once XRP was on exchanges, I could just go buy it. So really no reason to get it from Ripple. So there it is right there. I tell you, I think it speaks a lot to, certainly the work that David and everyone at Ripple has done and understanding the implementation that, or at least the use case that XRP can serve, right? But it probably turned out to be a pretty big mistake, David Schwartz says. That's not financial advice from him. It's not financial advice from me or anyone else. But on this day, that is my digital perspectives, and it's David Schwartz's too. I'll catch all of you on the next one.